Hello again. Today I'm here with another 3 horror books. So today I'm going to be covering Kill River 3 by Cameron Robique and also his other book called Golf Curse Year of Blood Book 2. This is me basically catching up on the Cameron Robique books. And also, just to add another Bentley Little book, I am going to be covering The Circle, which are 2 basically short story Bentley Little books together. So, after the intro, I'll be right back. Alrighty, I am back. So, let me cover Kill River 3 by Cameron Robique. I really liked Kill River. I thought it was really a good book. I also liked Disco Death Trap, which was his other slasher book. And then I read Kill River 2 as well, which I thought was a little step down from what I remember. A step down from Kill River, but I really liked what it was setting up. And I was looking forward to Kill River 3 and then got out of reading. So finally I decided let me try and read Kill River 3. Let me just read what it says here so you know about here. Everyone knows that the water park killer was dead. Nearly 3 months have passed since the massacre at the River on opening day. The park is shut down and the killer has faded from the headlines. To Cindy and Johnny, he's a dark part of the past that they only want to bury and forget. To Christy and her friends, he's like an urban legend, and it won't do them any harm if they sneak into the water park one evening just to look around, right? Wrong. The water park killer is still alive, and he's been waiting all summer for some visitors to come back into his park. To make matters worse, the mysterious Carver family, the owners of the park, are coming back to town just in time for Labor Day weekend. They plan on opening up one last ride before the end of the summer, and for Cindy, Johnny, and Christy, the Faro River will prove to be the most terrifying ride yet. Kill River 3 is a wild water park sequel filled with blood, gore, and 80s nostalgia. Slasher fans rejoice. Old school horror is back. Okay, first off, I'm going to tell you the good I liked about this story. The opening scene is like an opening, I don't know if it's opening chapter, opening chapters are really well done. And I mean really well done. I read these first, I forgot what the first couple of chapters. And I really was hooked into it. Like, oh, this was set up so nice. Great misdirection. It just was done really well. And then we got into the actual book. And sadly enough, I am really starting to kind of get tired of this water park. I expected it to be way better. But I'm getting kind of just tired of Cindy. I feel like the poor woman has gone through too much, to be honest with you. And the kind of like, I guess, secret behind the scenes things they were kind of hinting at in Kill River 2. The answer that they gave in Kill River 3 to me was a pretty patent, easy answer that I didn't really like. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I was expecting a lot more and I didn't get what I expected. I just felt like it's getting old. This whole Kill River series is just getting old. Just like any kind of horror movie, once you get to like the 3rd and 4th one, it kind of start getting, formulaic, which is the whole concept of this stuff. But seeing the same characters and seeing more characters come in, I didn't like Christy, and I didn't like, all the other new canon fodder that they put in here. So I didn't really like the characters. I liked what they were doing with Cindy and Johnny, but in the end, I just didn't like where the story ended up. I did read at the end of the book, and Cameron Robique talked about how this is the end of Kill River, but we may see Cindy again. I'm not really looking forward to seeing Cindy again, to be honest with you. I think he should probably, she should be gone, and he should focus on other things. But all in all, the first part was really good. It's a typical average book like the other Kill River books. So if you like the other ones, You might like that with this one. I just personally started feeling like I was getting tired of it. I would give it like a 3 star, just an average book that doesn't really grab me at all, except for that first couple of chapters that was really good. And then I just kind of got bored with it. As opposed to this one, Golf Curse, which I have my own problems with, but I'll get into. So let me read what Golf Curse is. Ronnie had the perfect summer job at the Indian Hill Golf Course. All day he gets to ride around on mowers and golf carts, checking out the beautiful drink cart girls, jokes with his best friend Mark, and gets plenty of fresh air and sunlight. That all changes when a huge late spring hailstorm blows in one night, leaving the golf course in shambles. As they clean up all the limbs and down trees, Ronnie and Mark learn about the Native American Kickawa tribe that was brutally massacred at the top of the hill near the 17th green, and the evil medicine man known as Chief Tomahawk, who supposedly put a curse on the land. It seems that the curse may prove to be real, as the golf course is dogged with bad luck, and a dark figure wearing a wooden chief's mask and a black feathered headdress. He's watching them from the shadows. Now, in preparation for the biggest golf tournament of the year, Ronnie and the maintenance crew have to come in and work through the night. They're about to find out that Chief Tomahawk has returned and he wants revenge for his slaughtered people. Now, this is, I'd say it's loosely tied to Disco Death Trap because they mentioned it. It's in the same year, I guess, the Year of Blood. And it's a completely different story. You don't need to read Disco Death Trap to understand this story at all. There's basically, I think, a passing reference to it. And I did enjoy this book. I felt like the characterizations were fresh. The kills were good. What I really liked about this book is the killer. The killer was supernatural in origin. This isn't, oh my God, here's this crazy killer and, like a Scooby-Doo thing, they're going to pull off the mask at the end. This is actually a supernatural in origin killer. I liked the way the author used the supernatural killer, how he incorporated some other things into it. I really want to see more from this author like that. I want to see some more, supernatural type of things. Though, there is one thing I don't like about this book, is why I bring it back down to a 3-star instead of like a 4 or 5-star book. It took way too long to get to the killings. I mean, I understand, you build up characters, and again, this author talks about how he did work at a golf course. And I guess he's trying to, talk about all of his things that he did during the golf course, and maybe a little bit too much reminiscing in that beginning of that book, because it literally took almost halfway, I think, through the book before we actually started to get some killing and some action as far as the killer coming, and it didn't really have good foreshadowing. In a good horror book where it's like, okay, here's a lot of foreshadowing. There was some, but it was just way too much. Okay, let's all screw around and see all these characters screwing around on the golf course and screwing around in a job and doing all these goofy things. That's basically what was like the first half of this book before we actually got to this evil Indian killer, and that part really, I'm reading through this book and I'm like, oh man, this is really starting to trudge on me. But when it finally did get to the actual killing and the actual ways he killed people, and like I said, some of the supernatural element, there's even like a Walking Dead kind of thing hinted at here in this book. It's done very well. I did think it was done very well. I look forward to seeing more from this author and see where he goes outside of Kill River, because I did think Golf Curse was done well. And like I said, I would give it 3 stars because it just takes a real long time. If you're going to read this book, realize that for the first half of the book, it is pretty slow in my mind. But once it actually gets revved up into the killings, it's pretty interesting. And that's my review of Golf Curse. So now the last one, of course, is I'm going to pick another Bentley Little. So this is Bentley Little The Circle. So let me read what this is here. The shrine, how does it operate? Do you just pray to it, or do you have to bring it something, or what? In In this unsettling novella by Bentley Little, many strange occurrences unsettle the inhabitants of William Tell Circle. For Helen, a knock at the door brings an unexpected visitor along with lavish gifts, and it seems all her wishes have been granted, but at what cost? For young Frank and his friends, a fabled neighborhood shrine may answer their prayers for a girlfriend, just as their older brothers hope the same source will grant them money. But the older boys' improvised rituals turned into something horrible. For Gil Moroder, a rescue mission to the shrine leads him into a chilling confrontation with the local witch. The Circle tells the story of a normally quiet community plunged into the kind and surreal nightmare only Bentley Little can deliver. Now, this is obviously short. It's only 140 pages, and there are 2 stories here. So I wouldn't even classify it as, it's basically small, almost short story novella types. But I did enjoy both stories, actually. I enjoyed both stories. Usually, I've read some other Bentley Little short stories I didn't like, but these I kind of liked. The first story, Helen, with the unexpected visitor, is basically this child who, needs to use the bathroom, I guess. And she finds out that this child actually poops rare gems, and which is really interesting. Poops diamonds in the beginning, and she basically from there, she calls her husband, and things escalate into a very interesting horror short story about a little boy that is pooping things that are somewhat vicious after a while. But it's just just explaining it to you shows you how goofy and weird it is. And I really did enjoy seeing this really goofy, weird Bentley Little story. Again, it's short, but I'm really interested in it. Second story, not as good as the first, but still really creepy. The second story was a lot creepier, about this shrine. Now, in his second story, basically there's this, wives' tale, urban legend here about this shrine in this, this one house in the town that's overgrown lawn and stuff like that. That supposedly, if you go to the house and you find a shrine, you can make a wish on the shrine, and your wish will be granted. So these couple of boys, these 2 boys, go in and decide they want to go into the shrine because there's one boy wants a girlfriend. They figure, we'll go into the shrine to get a girlfriend. And unfortunately, what happens is they see something at the shrine they're not supposed to see. And there's one boy, after he sees this thing, obviously, freaks him out. And then that's basically where the story goes from there. I don't want to give away too much of it, but it is a creepy story. Kind of a witch story, I guess, and really, really interesting. And I did like it. I thought it was well done. So, even though this is a short little novella that's only like 140 pages, I did really enjoy it. I would give it a 4-star. I think it was worth enough to actually be a little bit more above average than some of the Bentley Littles I read. Plus, it's different. It's just a little different than a normal Bentley Little. Because it's a short story, he doesn't have the long backstory and a long history he talks about in these stories. It's just, let's get to it and just have a nice, real creepy story. And it is kind of not what I'm used to reading from Bentley Little. And I really liked that it was a little outside of what I'm used to reading. And that's pretty much it with The Circle by Bentley Little. So again, if you've sat through all of these, I want to say thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you soon.